You go everywhere in Nigeria, young people, nothing to do. Graduates, driving taxi, driving keke napep. That is not the way it should be. Refining of petroleum is not the exclusive purview of Dangote. All Nigerians can be involved, and South Africa can kiss our ass. Because what we have here, they don't have it. Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Caesar Osahene Iyayi. I am your advocate for the industrial development of Africa, a process that I continue to insist will begin from Nigeria. Today, I want to do a program based on the telephone calls that I have been receiving, multiple calls. And on my WhatsApp message, I can't answer everybody. So I'm doing this video now for those that are calling and those that are sending messages, and for everybody, because they want to know how can they participate in this program. Is it possible? I wrote a book during the COVID period, and I published it in 2021. It's titled The ABC of How to Industrialize Nigeria. And in that book, I elucidated the points I want to talk about now. The issue is this: there is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. So what I want to tell you now is this: Dangote has a huge oil refinery that he spent about 20 billion to do, billion to do, $20 billion. It has a petrochemical plants. I know that Rabiu is building one now in Akwa Ibom State. The question is this: is it only those people that are billionaires in dollars that can participate in the oil and gas industry? The answer is no. And why is that so? Why is it no? With about 100 billion, you can participate. Everybody says there's no money in Nigeria. So I took a close look at the budget of INEC for the 2027 presidential, governorship, House of Rep, Senate, and the State House of Assemblies. Came to 273.78 billion naira. That is a huge sum of money. I'm talking about that now. Remember, I am a solution provider. I'm not a social critic. If you ask me which party do I belong to, I don't belong to any party. I support the government of the day. So President Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria and the governors. So I support all the governors and I support the president of Nigeria. I'm not an anti-government person. I'm not saying if you were to remove Tinubu and put somebody else there, it would be better. Because I know that Nigeria is rotten from top to bottom. It's like having a basket full of 100 apples, and you only have about 1 or 2 that are not rotten. All the other ones are already rotten. So how do you do democracy to pick the best out of it? Whoever goes there is the same. Nothing changes. So I have made some comments earlier, and people, because we programmed to believe that it must be a certain way, there's no imagination in us anymore to think of another method. Why I'm focusing on this budget is that if we had a one-party system, this 850 billion naira will not be spent for that, because within the party, they can just choose on their own who will be president. Whether it's for 10 years, for 20 years, it doesn't concern us. All that we are interested in is to know the people we are to channel our discussions to on how we can interrogate a way forward for us to industrialize Nigeria. So I took those figures, 873.78 billion naira, and I asked myself, how much is a modular refinery? How much is a modular petrochemical plant? How much is a modular plant that can produce fertilizer, urea, ammonia? And I found that with that sum, my idea is not for government to take that money and start building plants. Government cannot do it. It is impossible. The way Nigeria is now, government cannot do any of those things whatsoever. But if we have a sovereign fund, if we have a way we can harness funds together. By the way, are you aware that the dam in Ethiopia that can produce 5,000 megawatts, it costs them $5 billion. They didn't borrow money. Ethiopian people put money together. Ethiopia and Diaspora, Ethiopian in Ethiopia, they all contributed money to build that dam. And it's generating 5,000 megawatts of electricity. If they can do that in Ethiopia, don't you think it can be done here? My point is that it's not only those that are billionaires in dollars that can participate in refining oil. They are not the only ones that can participate in the petrochemical industry. They're not the only ones that can produce urea and fertilizer. With 100 billion naira, you can bring in a modular plant. And where does the government come in? The government is to remove all the obstacles. I mentioned a place like Obe, which is just about 85 kilometers from Benin City. The duty of government now in a plan that is very serious, because we have to involve Nigerian contractors, for Christ's sake. All this idea that you must bring in expatriates. There are areas that expatriates can come in. Nigerian contractors that do roads, they have graduated to the point where they can actually do these roads. But they give it to the Chinese because Chinese will come say they are bringing in their money. They use their money to finance it. So because of that, they give it to Chinese. They give it to Lebanese. Lebanese cannot finance anything. They will give to Lebanese also. What about Nigerians? So, where does government come in again? You need to do a road from Benin to Oben. Not that narrow road that is just 7.3 meters. Should be 4 lanes going and 4 lanes coming back. And you can use bricks to do it. Those rectangular interlocking stones. If you are in doubt, go to Amuwo in Lagos. Most of the roads there were done about 23 years ago or more. Not a single pothole. You have trailers plowing that road. This idea of coming to put reinforcement on a ground that is already strong defies logic and gravity. It's expensive, and what is interlocking stone? Just stone dust and cement under very high kilonewton compression. If you want to know that it is really possible, go to Amuwo in Lagos. If you are in Benin, go to Evaeke Road. Go to the road where they are doing bronze. That was done 20 years ago by Lucky Benedian. The roads, they are still good. If any portion fails, you just use your hand to remove the interlocking stone, remove the sand beneath it, put fresh sand, and lay the same interlocking stone again. The road is good. All under 1 hour. Under 1 hour, the road is done. And it's a fraction of the cost of doing asphalt road or this concrete road that you said is not in vogue. These are things that can be done by Nigeria. We need to get ourselves involved in programs that will allow Nigerians to put their hands on the money. What we are doing now, that we are draining away money from Nigeria, we go and borrow money. I've done a program where I made it very clear that we are making about 15 trillion from oil and gas. We are making about 24 trillion from tax and custom duties. That sum, about 30-something billion, is just enough to service our debt. So every year we must borrow money to run the country. How long can we continue to do this? So we need to get into a project. And if Nigerians are going to put their heads together to bring in modular refinery, modular petrochemical plants, modular urea plants, they must have a place where they will mount it. You do a road straight to where the gas reserve is, and you make structures, building structures. You connect it to a combined cycle turbine that will give maybe about 300 megawatts. Let's start with that. And when you bring the modular refinery, you just plug it into the light, and it will give you first-class quality oil, first-class quality diesel, first-class quality aviation gas. Everything that the big one can do, the small one can also do it. It's just that one is doing 650,000 barrels. This one will be doing about 200 or 250. It is monkey by grade. Because it's modular, you can always add to it. If you make it 2, it becomes 500. If you make it 4, it becomes 1,000. So that's the way it is. It is very, very possible for people to raise 100 billion in Nigeria. It is something that the banks can finance, that the African Development Bank can finance. It is something that 20 people can put their heads together and be able to generate one. And the beauty is that it can pay you off in 4 years. All the money you invested, you can recover it in 4 years. And the demand for urea is infinite. The demand for petrochemicals is infinite in Nigeria. And across West Africa, going towards the Sahel and going south towards the Congo, Nigeria will be the place. If we can start with this, just the way Nigerians saw that 3 or 4 people build hotels, everybody else started building hotels everywhere. That is the way we will see Nigerians with our ability to improvise, to be able to raise money and have so many clusters. Refining of petroleum, petrochemical industry is not the exclusive purview of Dangote. All Nigerians can be involved. You put in 100 billion, every month you turn over about 4 billion naira and you have a profit margin of 1 billion. That 4 billion, government can get 7.5% VAT and about 30% of your profit. Imagine that in multiple stages. The government will start making money. Nigerians will start making money. And South Africa can kiss our ass. Zulu can kiss our ass. Because what we have here, they don't have it. They don't have gas. They pulverize coal to be able to get to the point of gas. We have it underneath our feet. We are standing on it. This is not a project that should just take place in one place. You can also have it at Imo State, 25 kilometers from Owerri. You have one of the largest gas reserves right there. All the Igbo people that are traders in Alaba market and all that, selling furniture or whatever they are doing, they have the money. They can put money together and get involved in this industry. Because that is what Singapore is doing. All the countries that are buying these things from us, that's what they are doing with it. They prepare everything and bring it back to us. We export crude oil for maybe $80 and they now bring it back to us. After they have gotten about 7 products, they have gotten the cooking gas, petroleum gas, which when you cryogenize, it becomes LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. They get aviation fuel, which is kerosene, that they use for the jets. Then you have naphtha, which can give you polypropylene, ethylene, PVC. You know the multiple industry that will spring up from that. You give you diesel. Exactly what Dangote plant can do, this small plant can do it. In terms of quality, you can do the same quality standard that can be exported. In fact, they are even better because they are manufactured right there in a modular form in an ISO container or in a skid pad. All the details are precise. If you are doing these huge petrochemical plants or huge refineries, you have to come and build them here and assemble them here. These ones are assembled in a factory and tested. The quality is excellent. So Nigerians can participate. Don't say, oh, Dangote, 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 Dangote. No. If the government can remove all the hurdles, and what are the hurdles? You want land, community will start saying, no, this one belongs to me, that one belongs to the other one. The job of government is to go there and clean that out. Because it's a win-win situation. Nigerians win, the government wins. There will be employment for so many thousands of people. Because as you are producing different products, look at natural gas, for example, which is CH4. From there you can make ammonia. From there you can make urea fertilizer, which everybody needs in the whole of Africa. The margin and the payback is also the same. That's what you can get for about even 80 billion naira. But you need a government that will create the infrastructure. Give that infrastructure project to Nigerians to do. Let them sign with their collateral and get a foreign company to supervise them in terms of quality. Let that money be in the pockets of Nigerians. What we are doing now is that we are always exporting commodities and importing unemployment. You go everywhere in Nigeria, you see young people, nothing to do. Graduates, driving taxi, driving keke napep. That is not the way it should be. Not with what we are sitting on. I am a solution provider. I'm not a social critic. I'm not blaming anybody. My philosophy is, okay, this is our position today. What is the way forward? I don't have time to look back and be blaming anybody. What is the way forward? And this is the way forward.